Murder on the Orient Express is a 2017 mystery film co-produced and directed by Kenneth Branagh from a screenplay by Michael Green, based on the 1934 novel of the same name by Agatha Christie. It is the first installment of the Hercule Poirot film series. The film stars an ensemble cast with Branagh as Hercule Poirot, alongside Tom Bateman, Penelope Cruz, Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Derek Jacobi, Leslie Odom Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer, and Daisy Ridley. 7. The plot follows Poirot, a world-renowned Belgian detective, as he investigates a murder on the luxury Orient Express train service in the 1930s. Principal photography began in November 2016 in the United Kingdom. It is one of the few productions in recent decades to have used 65mm film cameras. Murder on the Orient Express had its world premiere on November 2, 2017, at the Royal Albert Hall in London, and was released theatrically in the United Kingdom on November 3, 2017, and in the United States on November 10, 2017, by 20th Century Fox. 8. The film grossed over $351 million worldwide and received mixed reviews from critics, with praise for the cast performances and production values, but criticism for the screenplay and redundancy to previous adaptations. 2 sequels, Death on the Nile, 2022, and A Haunting in Venice, 2023, were released. Plot. In 1934, famed Belgian detective Hercule Poirot solves a theft at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Intending to return to London, his friend Book arranges accommodations for Poirot aboard the Simplon route train, the Orient Express. Alongside Book, Poirot's fellow passengers include widow Caroline Hubbard, businessman Edward Ratchet, his manservant Edward Masterman and secretary Hector McQueen, elderly Russian Princess Natalia Dragomirov and her maid Hildegard Schmidt, Hungarian diplomat Count Rudolf Andrini and his wife Elena, physician John Arbuthnot, Mary Debenham, a governess, Pilar Estravados, a Spanish missionary, Cuban-American car salesman Beniamino Marquez, and Gerhard Hardman, an Austrian university professor. Having received threatening letters, Ratchet attempts to hire Poirot to protect him during the journey, but Poirot declines, not wanting to do business with a suspicious character. An avalanche derails the train's engine, stranding the passengers until a rescue crew can derail the locomotive. During the night, Poirot is awakened by strange noises in the hall next to his cabin and sees someone in a red kimono rushing down the aisleway. Ratchet is found murdered the following morning, stabbed a dozen times. Poirot and Book work together to hunt the murderer. Poirot discovers the burned remnants of one of Ratchet's threatening notes, and from it deduces that Ratchet was really John Cassetti, the man responsible for the kidnap and murder of Daisy Armstrong, an infant child. Daisy's death caused her mother, Sonia, to go into premature labor, killing her and the baby, and out of grief her father, Colonel John Armstrong, killed himself. The family maid, Suzanne, accused of complicity in Daisy's murder, also committed suicide. Poirot finds a blood-stained handkerchief with a monogrammed H, and a conductor uniform button in Mrs. Hubbard's cabin, leading him to find the uniform and kimono planted in his suitcase. Hubbard is later stabbed from behind and cannot identify the culprit. Poirot's interrogations of the passengers identifies direct connections between them and the Armstrong family. While interviewing Debenham, Poirot is shot in the shoulder by Arbuthnot, who confesses to Ratchet's murder. Book incapacitates him before he can kill Poirot. However, Poirot quickly surmises that Arbuthnot, a former skilled army sniper, deliberately missed a killing shot. Poirot gathers and confronts the passengers outside the train, uncovering their true identities. McQueen's district attorney father was pressured into prosecuting Suzanne, but his career was destroyed when she was posthumously exonerated. Hardman, in actuality a former police officer named Cyrus, was in love with Suzanne. Pierre Michel, the train's conductor, was Suzanne's brother. Arbuthnot and the terminally ill Masterman were Colonel Armstrong's comrades. Marquez, Schmidt, and Estravados worked for the Armstrongs as their chauffeur, cook, and nursemaid respectively. Countess Andrini is Sonia's sister, Helena. Debenham was Daisy's and Helena's governess. Dragomirov was Daisy's godmother. Hubbard is actually Linda Arden, a former stage actress, Sonia's mother, and Daisy's grandmother. Poirot concludes that they murdered Ratchet together, each stabbing him once. Hubbard takes the blame for planning the murder and recruiting the others. Debenham wore the kimono and Arbuthnot superficially stabbed Hubbard to mislead Poirot. Agreeing their cause was just, but compelled to tell the truth, Poirot challenges the passengers to shoot him dead so they will get away with the murder. Instead, Hubbard grabs the gun and attempts suicide, but realizes it is unloaded. Poirot was testing the suspects' characters. With the locomotive back on the tracks, Poirot surmises that justice is impossible in this case, as Cassetti deserved death. For the first time, Poirot must live with a lie and imbalance. He presents the lone escaped killer theory to the Yugoslavian police, allowing the others to remain on the train. As he disembarks, a British Army messenger delivers a note asking him to investigate a death on the Nile. Cast: Tom Bateman as Book, Poirot's friend and nephew of the owner of the Orient Express. Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot, a world-renowned Belgian detective and former police officer. Penelope Cruz as Pilar Estravados, the Armstrongs' Spanish nurse. The character replaces the Swedish nurse, Greta Olsen, and assumes the name of an unrelated character from Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Willem Dafoe as Cyrus Bethman Hardman, who initially pretends to be an Austrian university professor named Gerhard Hardman, but is later revealed to be the American lover of Suzanne Michel, the Armstrongs' maid who committed suicide after being wrongly accused of killing Daisy. Judi Dench as Princess Natalia Dragomirov, Daisy Armstrong's godmother and close friend of Arden. Johnny Depp as Edward Ratchet, revealed to be a notorious gangster, John Cassetti, who kidnapped and murdered Daisy Armstrong. Josh Gad as Hector McQueen, Ratchet's secretary, whose father was the prosecutor of Suzanne Michel, the Armstrongs' maid. Derek Jacobi as Edward Henry Masterman, Ratchet's valet/butler and former valet to Col. Armstrong. Leslie Odom Jr. as Dr. Arbuthnot, Debenham's secret lover, who was an army sniper and Col. Armstrong's close friend. This character is an amalgamation of two characters from the novel, Col. Arbuthnot and Dr. Constantine. Michelle Pfeiffer as Caroline Hubbard, revealed to be the noted actress Linda Arden, who is the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Helena Andrini, and Daisy Armstrong's grandmother. Daisy Ridley as Mary Debenham, a governess who was Sonia Armstrong's personal secretary and Daisy's governess. Marwan Kenzari as Pierre Michel, the conductor and brother of Suzanne, the Armstrongs' maid. Olivia Colman as Hildegard Schmidt, the maid of the princess and the former cook for the Armstrongs. Lucy Boynton as Countess Helena Andrini, née Goldenberg, Sonia Armstrong's younger sister. Sergei Polanin as Count Rudolph Andrini, Helena's husband. Manuel Garcia Rolfo as Beniamino Marquez, a car salesman and the Armstrong chauffeur. This character replaces Antonio Foscarelli. Additionally, Phil Dunster and Miranda Raison portray Daisy's parents, Col. John and Sonia Armstrong seen in a flashback scene. Production. Development. 20th Century Fox announced the project in December 2013. 9. Michael Green wrote the screenplay for a new film adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express. 10. On June 16, 2015, it was reported Fox was in talks with Kenneth Branagh to direct. 11. On November 20, 2015, it was announced that Branagh would both direct the film and star in the role of Detective Hercule Poirot. 12. He later said that he enjoyed finding the sort of obsessive-compulsive in Poirot rather than the dandy. 13. In June 2016, Angelina Jolie entered into talks to join the cast of the film, in the role of Mrs. Caroline Hubbard. 14. However, It was later reported that Jolie had passed on the role and that Charlize Theron, among others, was in consideration for the role. 15 In August 2016, Leslie Odom Jr. joined the cast. 16 In September 2016, Tom Bateman, Johnny Depp, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Michael Pena, Judi Dench, Lucy Boynton and Derek Jacobi joined the cast. 17 18 19 In October 2016, Josh Gad and Marwan Kenzari joined the cast. 2021 In November 2016, Penelope Cruz joined the cast. 22 In December 2016, Sergei Polanin joined the cast. 23 In January 2017, Willem Dafoe and Manuel Garcia Rulfo joined the cast, with the latter replacing Pina, who had dropped out of the project. 24-25. Filming. Principal photography on the film began on November 22, 2016, in the United Kingdom 26-27 and concluded in May 2017. It used some of the same 65mm film cameras as Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, which Branagh had acted in shortly before the production. 28 The two were among the very few to be shot on 65mm film since Branagh's Hamlet in 1996, and the only ones released in 2017. 2-1 While in post-production, Branagh was Skyped in from thousands of miles away to watch Pfeiffer record an original song called Never Forget for the film's finale. As soon as we added it onto the end of the film, it joined seamlessly and gave a moment of reflection and consideration that the film needed and wanted, said Branagh. 29. Prop train. The film featured a meticulously crafted prop train, built specifically for the movie. This prop train, a replica of the French SNCF steam train, included an engine, tender, restaurant car, baggage car, and a salon with a bar. It was constructed and dressed to withstand the filming process, including movement on the tracks and intricate tracking shots. After filming, the prop train was purchased and repurposed into a tea room experience in the Lake District, offering dining and a unique glimpse into the film's set design. 30. Release. A first look at the film and cast was released on May 3, 2017, in an exclusive article by Entertainment Weekly. 31. Murder on the Orient Express was released in the United Kingdom on November 3, 2017, and in the United States on November 10, 2017, by 20th Century Fox. 32. The film was released on digital HD on February 20, 2018, and on Ultra HD Blu-ray, DVD and Blu-ray on February 27, 2018. Citation needed. Reception. Box office. Murder on the Orient Express grossed worldwide a total of $352.8 million against a production budget of $55 million. 6. In North America, Murder on the Orient Express grossed $102.8 million. It was released alongside Daddy's Home 2, and was projected to gross around $20 million from 3,341 theaters in its opening weekend. 33. The film made $10.9 million on its first day, including $1.6 million from Thursday night previews at 2,775 theaters. It ended up grossing $28.7 million, finishing third at the box office, behind Holdover Thor, Ragnarok, and Daddy's Home 2. On the film's opening weekend, 51% of the audience was over the age of 35. 34. In its second weekend, the film took in $13.8 million, a drop of 51.9%, finishing fifth, behind Justice League, Wonder, Thor, Ragnarok and Daddy's Home 2. 35. Critical response. Murder on the Orient Express received mixed reviews from American critics. 36, 37, 38, 39 on review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes. The film has an approval rating of 60% based on 301 reviews, with an average rating of 6.1/10. The website's critical consensus reads, Stylish production and an all-star ensemble keep this Murder on the Orient Express from running off the rails, even if it never quite builds up to its classic predecessor's illustrious head of steam. 40. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 52 out of 100, based on 46 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 41 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A+ to F scale. 34. Leah Greenblatt of Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B+, calling it a lushly old-fashioned adaptation wrapped in a veritable turducken of pearls, monocles, and international movie stars. 42. Blake Goebel of Consequence of Sound said, handsomely staged, exceptionally well cast, and reasonably faithful, Branagh has revived Murder on the Orient Express in a highly pleasing fashion. 43. Trace Thurman of Bloody Disgusting gave the film 3.5 skulls and said, for those looking for an involving murder mystery that is respectful of its source material and filled with an all-star cast, look no further than Murder on the Orient Express. 44. Matt Goldberg of Collider gave the film a B, calling it a handsomely crafted production, albeit one that falls apart at the climax of the film. 45. Joe Livingstone of The New Republic praised the film's stylized gorgeousness, but wrote that Branagh's change of Poirot's fussiness into obsessive-compulsive tendencies was less distinct and, ultimately, less interesting. 46. On the negative side, Matthew Jacobs of The Huffington Post was impressed by the cast, but ultimately felt Agatha Christie's whodunit has no steam. 47. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone found that there were many dull moments and that the film was a needless remake. 48. Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2.5 stars, and stated that he felt it focused too much on Poirot to the detriment of the other characters, adding, "Never let it be said the director misses an opportunity to place his star front and center, unfortunately relegating just about everyone else in the obligatory international all-star cast to a paper-thin character with one or at most two defining personality traits." 49. Ignatiy Vishnevetsky of the AV Club rated the film a C+ and complained that Branagh's erratic direction, more interested in cut glass and overhead shots than in suspicions and uncertainties, bungles both the perfect puzzle logic of the crime and its devious solution. 50. Christopher Orr of The Atlantic said the film was visually sumptuous yet otherwise inert, and summed up, "Murder on the Orient Express is not a bad movie per se, merely one that feels self-indulgent and thoroughly unnecessary." Thomas Jonathan Bateman, born March 15, 1989, is a British actor best known for his roles as Giuliano de' Medici in the Starz historical fantasy drama series Da Vinci's Demons, 2013 to 2015, as Book in the mystery films Murder on the Orient Express, 2017, 2 and Death on the Nile, 2022, and as Matt Pierce in the Peacock comedy thriller based on a true story, 2023. Early life. Bateman was born in Oxford, Oxfordshire, to a music teacher father and primary school teacher mother. 3. He has 12 siblings, including a twin brother named Merlin. 4-5. Bateman studied drama at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, Lambda, 6, where he appeared in a production of Much Ado About Nothing with Catherine Tate and David Tennant. He later joined Kenneth Branagh's company at the Garrick Theatre, where he acted alongside Judi Dench in The Winter's Tale. 4. Personal life. Bateman has been in a relationship with actress Daisy Ridley since 2017, after meeting on the set of Murder on the Orient Express. 7. During her promotion of Sometimes I Think About Dying at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2023, Ridley confirmed that she and Bateman had married. Sir Kenneth Charles Branagh, /BRN/Bran, born December 10, 1960, is a British actor and filmmaker. Born in Belfast and raised primarily in Reading, Berkshire, Branagh trained at RADA in London and served as its president from 2015 to 2024. His accolades include an Academy Award, 4 BAFTAs, 2 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and an Olivier Award. He was appointed a Knight Bachelor in 2012 and was given freedom of the city in his native Belfast in 2018. 2. In 2020, he was ranked in 20th place on the Irish Times' list of Ireland's greatest film actors. 3. Branagh has directed and starred in several film adaptations of William Shakespeare's plays, including Henry V, 1989, Much Ado About Nothing, 1993, Othello, 1995, Hamlet, 1996, and As You Like It, 2006. He was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Actor and Best Director for Henry V, and Best Adapted Screenplay for Hamlet. He directed Swan Song, 1992, which earned a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Live Action Short Film. He also directed Dead Again, 1991, Peter's Friends, 1992, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, 1994, Thor, 2011, and Cinderella, 2015. For his semi-autobiographical film Belfast, 2021, he was nominated for the Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Director, and won Best Original Screenplay. Branagh directed and starred as Hercule Poirot in the eponymous film series, 2017, present. He has also acted in Celebrity, 1998, Wild Wild West, 1999, The Road to El Dorado, 2000, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, 2002, and Valkyrie, 2008. His portrayal of Laurence Olivier in My Week with Marilyn, 2011, earned him a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He played supporting roles in Christopher Nolan's films Dunkirk, 2017, Tenet, 2020, and Oppenheimer, 2023. Branagh has starred in the BBC One series Fortunes of War, 1987, the Channel 4 series Shackleton, 2002, the television film Warm Springs, 2005, and the BBC One series Wallander, 2008-2016. He received a Primetime Emmy Award and an International Emmy Award for Best Actor for his portrayal of SS leader Reinhard Heydrich in the HBO film Conspiracy, 2001. Early life and education. Kenneth Charles Branagh was born in Belfast on December 10, 1964, the son of working-class Protestant parents Francis, née Harper, and William Branagh. His father was a plumber and joiner who ran a company that specialized in fitting partitions and suspended ceilings. 5'6", he is the middle of 3 children, with an older brother and a younger sister, and lived in the Tigers Bay area of Belfast. He was educated at Grove Primary School. 7-8 in early 1970, at the age of 9, Branagh moved with his family to England to escape the Troubles. They settled in Berkshire, where Branagh grew up in Reading 9-10 and attended White Knights Primary School and Meadway School in Tilehurst. 11-12 he appeared in school productions such as Toad of Toad Hall 13 and Oh, What a Lovely War. 14. At school, Branagh learned to speak with an RP accent to avoid bullying. Discussing his identity, he later said, "I feel Irish. I don't think you can take Belfast out of the boy." 15. He also attributes his love of words to his Irish heritage. 16. He attended the Amateur Reading Cine and Video Society, now called Reading Film and Video Makers, 17, and was a keen member of Progress Theatre, of which he is now the patron. After disappointing A-level results in English, History, and Sociology 18, he went on to train at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London. 19. In 1980, RADA's principal Hugh Crutwell asked Branagh to perform a soliloquy from Hamlet for Queen Elizabeth II during one of her visits to the Academy. 20. Career. 1980 to 1988, rise to prominence. Branagh has adapted numerous works of William Shakespeare for the stage and screen. Branagh's first film appearance was as an uncredited role as a Cambridge student in the sports drama Chariots of Fire, 1981. Branagh achieved early success in his native Northern Ireland for his role as Billy, the title character in the BBC's Play for Today 21 trilogy known as the Billy Plays, 1982-84, written by Graham Reed and set in Belfast. 22 He received acclaim in the UK for his stage performances, first winning the 1982 SWET Award for Best Newcomer, for his role as Judd in Julian Mitchell's Another Country, after leaving RADA. Branagh was part of the new wave of actors to emerge from the Academy. Others included Jonathan Pryce, Juliet Stevenson, Alan Rickman, Anton Lesser, Bruce Payne and Fiona Shaw. In 1984, he appeared in the Royal Shakespeare Company production of Henry V, directed by Adrian Noble. The production played to sold-out audiences, especially at the Barbican in the City of London. It was this production that he adapted for the film version of the play in 1989. He and David Parfitt founded the Renaissance Theatre Company in 1987, following success with several productions on the London Fringe, including Branagh's full-scale production of Romeo and Juliet at the Lyric Studio, co-starring with Samantha Bond. The first major Renaissance production was Branagh's Christmas 1987 staging of Twelfth Night at Riverside Studios in Hammersmith, starring Richard Briers as Malvolio and Frances Barber as Viola, and with an original score by actor, musician, and composer Patrick Doyle, who 2 years later was to compose the music for Branagh's film adaptation of Henry V. This Twelfth Night was later adapted for television. The company's debut season also included Public Enemy, a play written by Branagh set in his native Belfast. 23 Also in 1987, Branagh found his first leading film role as James Moon in the British film adaptation of J.L. Carr's book A Month in the Country. Here he plays a homosexual ex-army officer who, following the war, has taken on a job to excavate a burial in the churchyard. He instead spends most of his time looking for Saxon treasures. The film is set in a 1920s rural Yorkshire village, where Branagh's character meets a character played by Colin Firth, also in his first major role. Branagh became a major presence in the media and on the British stage when Renaissance collaborated with Birmingham Rep for a 1988 touring season of 3 Shakespeare plays under the umbrella title of Renaissance Shakespeare on the Road, which also played a repertory season at the Phoenix Theatre in London. It featured directorial debuts for Judi Dench with Much Ado About Nothing, starring Branagh and Samantha Bond as Benedict and Beatrice, Geraldine McEwen with As You Like It, and Derek Jacobi directing Branagh in the title role in Hamlet, with Sophie Thompson as Ophelia. Critic Milton Schulman of the London Evening Standard wrote, "On the positive side, Branagh has the vitality of Olivier, the passion of Gielgud, the assurance of Guinness, to mention but 3 famous actors who have essayed the role. On the negative side, he has not got the magnetism of Olivier, nor the mellifluous voice quality of Gielgud nor the intelligence of Guinness." 24. 1989 to 1999, Breakthrough. Branagh starred in numerous films and stage plays with Emma Thompson. A year later, in 1989, Branagh co-starred with Emma Thompson in the Renaissance Company's stage revival of Look Back in Anger. Judi Dench directed both the theatre and television productions, presented first in Belfast then at the London Coliseum and Lyric Theatre. In 1990, he wrote his autobiography Beginning, recounting his life and acting career up to that point. In the book's introduction, he admits that the main reason for producing the book was money and that the deal was made, and a handsome advance was paid out. The advance provided the funds to buy accommodation for the company's offices, this moving Renaissance out of my flat and bringing me a little closer to sanity. 25. Notable non-Shakespeare films in which Branagh has acted in and directed include the neo-noir romantic thriller Dead Again, 1991, starring Branagh, Emma Thompson, Andy Garcia, and Derek Jacobi. The film premiered at the Berlin International Film Festival where it competed for the Golden Bear and received critical acclaim. The following year he directed the British comedy-drama film Peter's Friends, with a cast including former student friends Emma Thompson, Hugh Laurie, Tony Slattery, and Stephen Fry, as well as Imelda Stanton and Rita Rudner. The film received positive reviews with critics comparing it favorably as the British version of The Big Chill, 1982. The film earned 2 Evening Standard British Film Awards for Branagh and Thompson. Branagh is known for his film adaptations of William Shakespeare, beginning with the critically acclaimed Henry V, 1989, later followed by Shakespeare's romantic comedy Much Ado About Nothing, 1993. The latter film premiered at the 1993 Cannes Film Festival, where it competed for the Palme d'Or. The film starred Branagh, Thompson, Denzel Washington, Kate Beckinsale, Keanu Reeves, and Michael Keaton. Vincent Canby, film critic of the New York Times, praised Branagh's direction, writing, "Now he has accomplished something equally difficult. He has taken a Shakespearean romantic comedy, the sort of thing that usually turns to mush on the screen, and made a movie that is triumphantly romantic, comic and, most surprising of all, emotionally alive." 26. However, Branagh had a commercial misstep with his adaptation of the horror film Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, 1994. The film starred Branagh, Robert De Niro, Helena Bonham Carter, Tom Hulce, and Ian Holm. It premiered at the London Film Festival, where it received negative reviews. The New York Times film critic Janet Maslin wrote of Branagh's failure, "He is in over his head. He displays neither the technical finesse to handle a big, visually ambitious film nor the insight to develop a stirring new version of the story. Instead, this is a bland, no-fault Frankenstein for the 90s, short on villainy but loaded with the tragically misunderstood." 27. He then directed the minor British romantic comedy In the Bleak Midwinter, 1995, to positive reviews. Branagh starred as and directed the film Hamlet, 1996. Also in 1995, Branagh portrayed Iago in Oliver Parker's Othello, 1995, acting opposite Lawrence Fishburne as Othello. The film received largely positive reviews, particularly for Branagh's performance, which earned a Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role nomination. Janet Maslin of the New York Times praised his acting, writing, "Mr. Branagh's superb performance, as the man whose Machiavellian scheming guides the story of Othello's downfall, guarantees this film an immediacy that any audience will understand." 28. Branagh returned to directing, in the acclaimed adaptation of Hamlet, 1996. Critics have theorized it might be the greatest film adaptation of Hamlet of all time. The film is noted for its epic scale and cast. The film ran 4 hours and was shot completely in 70mm film. The cast includes Branagh, Kate Winslet, Derek Jacobi, Julie Christie, and Rufus Sewell. Critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times praised Branagh's direction and acting, declaring, "One of the tasks of a lifetime is to become familiar with the great plays of Shakespeare. Hamlet is the most opaque. Branagh's version moved me, entertained me, and made me feel for the first time at home in that doomed royal court." 29. The film received 4 Academy Award nominations, including for Best Adapted Screenplay for Branagh. Post-Hamlet, Branagh took a break from directing, choosing to act in films directed by auteur-directors. He starred in Robert Altman's legal thriller The Gingerbread Man, 1998, Paul Greengrass' dramedy The Theory of Flight, 1998, and Woody Allen's celebrity satire Celebrity, 1998. The following year he starred in the Western film Wild Wild West opposite Will Smith, Kevin Kline, and Salma Hayek, which received negative reviews. During this time Branagh took on voice roles, playing the title role in BBC radio broadcasts of Hamlet and Cyrano de Bergerac, and the role of Edmund in King Lear. 30. Branagh has narrated several audiobooks, such as The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, 31, and Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. In 1998, he narrated the 24-episode documentary series Cold War. 32. Branagh also narrated the BBC documentaries Walking with Dinosaurs, World War I in Color, Walking with Beasts and Walking with Monsters, and the BBC miniseries Great Composers. 2000 to 2010, established director. Branagh won the Emmy Award for his portrayal of Reinhard Heydrich in Conspiracy, 2001. Branagh found commercial and critical failure with Love's Labour's Lost, which paused his directorial career. That same year he voiced Miguel in the DreamWorks animated film The Road to El Dorado, 2000, alongside Kevin Kline. The film received mixed reviews but has since gained a cult following. The following year he acted in the HBO film Conspiracy, 2001, portraying SS Obergruppenführer Reinhard Heydrich. The film is a depiction of the Wannsee Conference, where Nazi officials decided on the final solution. Branagh acted alongside Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci. He earned critical acclaim for his performance as well as the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. In 2002, Branagh played A.O. Neville in the drama film Rabbit-Proof Fence and portrayed a humorous role as Professor Gilderoy Lockhart in the film adaptation of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. He also portrayed Sir Ernest Shackleton in the Channel 4 television film Shackleton, 2002. The film is a dramatization of the 1914 Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition's battle for survival, for which he was nominated for a BAFTA Award and an Emmy. 33 That same year Branagh starred at the Crucible Theatre, Sheffield as Richard III. In 2003, he starred in the Royal National Theatre's production of David Mamet's Edmund. Branagh directed the play What I Wrote in England in 2001, 34 and directed a Broadway production in 2003. 35-36. Branagh won the Roma Fiction Festival's Lifetime Achievement Award, 2009. Branagh has been involved in several made-for-TV films. Among his most acclaimed portrayals is that of U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt in the film Warm Springs, 2005, for which he received an Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie nomination. The film received 16 Emmy nominations, winning 5, including Outstanding Made-for-Television Movie. Branagh did not win the award for his portrayal. In 2006, Branagh directed the film version of As You Like It starring Romola Garai, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Kevin Kline. That same year he also directed a film version of Mozart's opera The Magic Flute. Branagh has also directed the thriller Sleuth, 2007, a remake of the 1972 film starring Jude Law and Michael Caine. The film received mixed reviews with critics praising the performances and noting Branagh's darker interpretation of the material. Branagh then took the role of Major General Henning von Treschow in Valkyrie, 2008, and played the minister, Dormandy, a parody of PMG Tony Benn, in the film The Boat That Rocked, 2009. Branagh is the star of the English-language Wallander television series, adaptations of Henning Mankell's best-selling Wallander crime novels. Branagh plays the eponymous Inspector Kurt Wallander and also serves as the executive producer of the series. The first series of 3 episodes was broadcast on BBC One in November and December 2008. 37 Branagh won the award for Best Actor at the 35th Broadcasting Press Guild Television and Radio Awards, 2009. It was his first major television award win in the UK. 38 He received his first BAFTA TV on April 26, 2009 for the British Academy Television Award for Best Drama Series. 39 For his performance in the episode One Step Behind, he was nominated in the Outstanding Actor, Miniseries, or Movie category of the 61st Primetime Emmy Awards. 40 The role also gained him a nomination for Best Actor at the 2009 Crime Thriller Awards. 41 The second Wallander series of 3 episodes aired initially in January 2010 on the BBC, and the third season aired in July 2012. 42 The fourth and final series was shot from October 2014 to January 2015 and premiered on German TV, dubbed into German, in December 2015. It aired in the UK, with its original English soundtrack, in May and June 2016. From September to November 2008, Branagh appeared at Wyndham's Theatre as the title character in the Donmar West End revival of Anton Chekhov's Ivanov in a new version by Tom Stoppard. His performance was lauded as the performance of the year by several critics. 43 It won him the Critics' Circle Theatre Award for Best Male Performance but did not get him a Laurence Olivier Award nomination, to the surprise of critics. 44. 2011 to 2020, Career Expansion. Branagh portrayed Laurence Olivier in the film My Week with Marilyn, 2011. In 2011, Branagh directed Thor, a film based on the Marvel superhero. 45 Thor, Branagh's return to big-budget directing, was wide released on May 6, 2011. 46 The film was a part of Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It starred Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, and Anthony Hopkins. The film was a financial and critical success. That same year he portrayed Laurence Olivier in My Week with Marilyn, 2011. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian praised Branagh's performance, writing, "It is a complete joy to see Branagh's Olivier erupt in Queenie frustration at Marilyn's lateness, space cadet vagueness, and preposterous method acting indulgence. He revives Olivier with wit, intelligence, and charm." 47 Branagh received an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor nomination at the 84th Academy Awards, losing to Christopher Plummer for Beginners, 2011. Branagh participated in the 2012 Summer Olympics opening ceremony portraying Isambard Kingdom Brunel during the Industrial Revolution segment Pandemonium, where he performed one of Caliban's speeches, Note 1 from Shakespeare's The Tempest. 48-49 In July 2013, he co-directed Macbeth at Manchester International Festival with Rob Ashford. With Branagh in the title role, Alex Kingston played Lady Macbeth and Ray Fearon featured as Macduff. The final performance of the completely sold-out run was broadcast to cinemas on July 20 as part of National Theatre Live. 50 He repeated his performance and directorial duties opposite Ashford and Kingston when the production moved to New York City's Park Avenue Armory in June 2014. 51. In April 2015, Branagh announced his formation of the Kenneth Branagh Theatre Company, in which he would appear as actor-manager. With the company, he announced he would present a season of 5 shows at London's Garrick Theatre from October 2015 to November 2016. The shows were The Winter's Tale, a double bill of Harlequinade and All on Her Own, Red Velvet, The Painkiller, Romeo and Juliet and The Entertainer. Branagh directed all but The Entertainer, in which he starred. Branagh also starred in The Winter's Tale, Harlequinade, and The Painkiller. Kenneth Branagh Theatre Company also includes Judi Dench, The Winter's Tale, Zoe Wanamaker, Harlequinade / All on Her Own, Derek Jacobi, Lily James and Richard Madden, Romeo and Juliet, and Rob Brydon, The Painkiller. In September 2015, it was announced that The Winter's Tale, Romeo and Juliet, and The Entertainer would be broadcast in cinemas, in partnership with Picture House Entertainment. 52. Kenneth Branagh has acted in 3 of Christopher Nolan's films, Dunkirk, 2017, Tenet, 2020, and Oppenheimer, 2023. In 2014 Branagh directed and acted in the action thriller Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, 2014, starring Chris Pine, Keira Knightley, and Kevin Costner. The film was a box office hit but received mixed reviews from critics. The following year, Branagh directed Disney's live-action adaptation of Cinderella, 2015, starring Lily James. 53 The film was a financial and critical success. Peter DeBrugge of Variety praised his direction, writing, "The underlying property emerges untarnished, as director Kenneth Branagh reverently reimagines Charles Perrault's fairy tale for a new generation the world over, spelling countless opportunities to exploit fresh interest in the story throughout the Disney universe." 54. Branagh started his first collaboration with Christopher Nolan portraying a Royal Navy commander in the World War II action thriller Dunkirk, 2017, based on the British military evacuation of the French city of Dunkirk in 1940. 55 Branagh starred alongside Cillian Murphy, Mark Rylance, and Tom Hardy. The film received critical acclaim and was nominated for 8 Academy Awards including Best Picture. That same year Branagh directed and starred in a film adaptation of Agatha Christie's detective novel Murder on the Orient Express, 2017, as Hercule Poirot. Production began in London in November 2016. 56 Like Branagh's Hamlet in 1996-57, it is among the very few to use 65mm film cameras since 1970. 58. In 2018, he directed the film All Is True, in which he starred as William Shakespeare. Branagh also directed the fantasy-adventure film Artemis Fowl, which was released on Disney Plus in June 2020. In May 2019, Branagh was cast in Christopher Nolan's Tenet, 2020, in which he portrayed the villain André Sator and was praised for his performance. Branagh acted alongside Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, and Elizabeth Debicki. 5960. 2021, present. Shankill Road, Belfast during the Troubles, 1970s. In 2021, Branagh directed the semi-autobiographical film Belfast starring Jude Hill, Catriona Balfe, Jamie Dornan, Ciarán Hinds, and Judi Dench. In the film, Branagh explores his childhood in Northern Ireland during a period of intense religious and political conflict. The film was shot in black and white with flickers of color images. The film was shown both at the Telluride Film Festival and the Toronto International Film Festival, where it won the People's Choice Award for the latter. The film was acclaimed by critics, with Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian writing, "There is a terrific warmth and tenderness to Branagh's elegiac, autobiographical movie about the Belfast of his childhood, spryly written, beautifully acted, and shot in a lustrous monochrome, with set pieces, madeleines, and epiphanies that feel like a more emollient version of Terence Davies." 61. Stephen Farber of The Hollywood Reporter noted, "While Branagh's most personal film is imperfect, the emotion that it builds in the final section, as the family plays out a wrenching universal drama of emigration, is searing." 62. The film earned 7 Academy Award nominations, including for Best Picture and Best Director. Branagh won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. He also won the BAFTA Award for Outstanding British Film. He reprised his role as Hercule Poirot in 2022's Death on the Nile, a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, which he also directed. 63. In March 2021, Branagh signed on to direct a biopic of music group the Bee Gees. 64. In March 2022, it was revealed that Branagh left the project due to scheduling conflicts and was replaced by John Carney. 65. In October 2022, it was announced that Branagh would direct and star in a third Poirot film titled A Haunting in Venice, based on Christie's Halloween Party. 66-67. Branagh reunited with Christopher Nolan, portraying the Danish physicist Niels Bohr in the war epic Oppenheimer, 2023. That same year Branagh returned to the West End stage, directing and acting in the title role in a stage adaptation of William Shakespeare's King Lear at the Wyndham's Theatre in London. 68. Arafah Akbar of The Guardian wrote of the production, "Although Branagh delivers his Lear with slick, almost playful efficiency, it is not his towering achievement." 69. The production is set to have an off-Broadway transfer at the Shed in the fall of 2024. 70. In May 2024, it was announced Branagh would write and direct the psychological thriller film The Last Disturbance of Madeline Hind, starring Jodie Comer. The film is expected to enter production in August 2024. 71. In June 2025, it was reported that Branagh will play the husband of Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears Prada 2, scheduled to be released in 2026. 72. Personal life. Branagh at Roma Fiction Fest in 2009. From 1989 to 1995, Branagh was married to English actress Emma Thompson, who appeared with him in Fortunes of War, Look Back in Anger, Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing, Dead Again, and Peter's Friends. During their marriage, while directing and starring in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, 1994, he began an affair with his co-star Helena Bonham Carter. 73. After Thompson divorced him, he and Bonham Carter were in a well-publicized relationship until 1999. 74. In 2003, he married film art director Lindsay Brunnock 75, whom he met during the shooting of Shackleton in 2002. 76. Branagh has said that he considers himself Irish. 77. He has said that he became much more religious after listening to Laurence Oliver's dramatic reading of the Bible every morning in preparation for his role as Olivier in My Week with Marilyn. John Christopher Depp II, born June 9, 1963, is an American actor and musician. He is the recipient of multiple accolades, including a Golden Globe Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award, as well as nominations for 3 Academy Awards and 2 British Academy Film Awards. His films, in which he has often played eccentric characters, have grossed over $10.8 billion worldwide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Depp began his career as a musician, performing in several amateur rock bands before making his feature film debut in the horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. He then acted in Platoon, 1986, before rising to prominence as a teen idol on the television series 21 Jump Street, 1987 to 1990. Depp portrayed lead roles in Arizona Dream, 1993, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, 1993, Benny and June, 1993, Dead Man, 1995, Donnie Brasco, 1997, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 1998, The Ninth Gate, 1999, Chocolate, 2000, and Blow, 2001. During this time, Depp became known for his work with director Tim Burton, collaborating on 8 films together, starting with Edward Scissorhands, 1990, followed by Ed Wood, 1994, Sleepy Hollow, 1999, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005, Corpse Bride, 2005, Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, 2007, Alice in Wonderland, 2010, and Dark Shadows, 2012. Depp gained worldwide stardom for his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, 2003 to 2017. He earned 3 nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actor for his roles as the leading man in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003, J.M. Barrie in Finding Neverland, 2004, and the title role in Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, 2007. His other well-received films include Public Enemies, 2009, Rango, 2011, Into the Woods, 2014, Black Mass, 2015, Murder on the Orient Express, 2017, and Minamata, 2020. He portrayed Gellert Grindelwald in 2 films within the Wizarding World's Fantastic Beasts films in 2016 and 2018. For his work in the film industry, he received an honorary César and star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1999. He was named People's Sexiest Man Alive twice, in 2003 and in 2009. 5. Outside acting, Depp has produced films through his company Infinitum Nihil, which he founded in 2004. He also formed the rock supergroup Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. In 2022, Depp won a defamation case against his ex-wife, Amber Heard, with the jury awarding him $15 million and Heard $2 million in her countersuit. The highly publicized case sparked widespread debate on defamation, domestic abuse, and male victims of domestic violence, leading to a settlement in December 2022. 9-10. Early life. Depp was born on June 9, 1963, in Owensboro, Kentucky. 11-12-13, the youngest of 4 children of waitress Betty Sue Depp, née Wells, later Palmer, 14, and civil engineer John Christopher Depp. 15-16, Depp's family moved frequently during his childhood, eventually settling in Miramar, Florida, in 1970. 17 His parents divorced in 1978 when he was 15, 17, 18, and his mother later married Robert Palmer, whom Depp has called an inspiration. 1920 Depp's mother gave him a guitar when he was 12, and he began playing in various bands. 17 He dropped out of Miramar High School at 16 in 1979 to become a rock musician. He attempted to go back to school 2 weeks later, but the principal told him to follow his dream of being a musician. 17 In 1980, Depp began playing in a band called The Kids. After modest local success in Florida, the band moved to Los Angeles in pursuit of a record deal, changing its name to Six Gun Method. In addition to the band, Depp worked a variety of odd jobs, such as in telemarketing. In December 1983, Depp married makeup artist Lori Ann Allison 12, the sister of his band's bassist and singer. The Kids split up before signing a record deal in 1984, and Depp began collaborating with the band Rock City Angels. 21 He co-wrote their song Mary, which appeared on their debut Geffen Records album Young Man's Blues. 22 Depp and Allison divorced in 1985. 12. Depp is of primarily English descent, with some French, German, Irish, and African American ancestry. 23-24 Elizabeth Key Grinstead, one of the first African Americans in the North American colonies to sue for her freedom and win, is an 8th great-grandmother. 24 His surname comes from a French Huguenot immigrant, Pierre Dieppe, who settled in Virginia around 1700. In interviews in 2002 and 2011, Depp claimed to have Native American ancestry. I guess I have some Native American somewhere down the line. My great-grandmother was quite a bit of Native American. She grew up Cherokee or maybe Creek Indian. Makes sense in terms of coming from Kentucky, which is rife with Cherokee and Creek Indian. 25. Depp's claims came under scrutiny when Indian Country Today wrote that Depp had never inquired about his heritage or been recognized as a member of the Cherokee Nation. 26 This led to criticism of Depp from the Native American community, as Depp has no documented Native ancestry. 26 And Native community leaders consider him a non-Indian. 26-27 And a pretendian. 28-29-30 Depp's choice to portray Tonto, a Native American character, in The Lone Ranger was criticized. 26-27 along with his choice to name his rock band Tonto's Giant Nuts. 31-32-33-34 During the promotion for The Lone Ranger, Depp was formally adopted as an honorary son by LaDonna Harris, a member of the Comanche Nation, making him an honorary member of her family but not a member of any tribe. 35-36 Career. 1980s, television and early film roles. Depp greeting President Ronald Reagan at a White House benefit for the Nancy Reagan Drug Abuse Fund in 1988. Depp moved to Los Angeles with his band when he was 20. After the band split up, Depp's then-wife Lori Ann Allison introduced him to actor Nicolas Cage. 17 After they became drinking buddies, Cage advised him to pursue acting. 37 Depp had been interested in acting since reading a biography of James Dean and watching Rebel Without a Cause. 38 Cage helped Depp get an audition with Wes Craven for A Nightmare on Elm Street. Depp, who had no acting experience, said he ended up acting by accident. 39-40 Thanks in part to his catching the eye of Craven's daughter. 39 Depp landed the role of the main character's boyfriend, one of Freddy Krueger's victims. 17 Although Depp said he didn't have any desire to be an actor, he continued to be cast in films. 40 Making enough to cover some bills that his musical career left unpaid. 39 After a starring role in the 1985 comedy Private Resort, Depp was cast in the lead role of the 1986 skating drama Thrashin' by the film's director, but its producer overrode the decision. 41-42 Instead, Depp appeared in a minor supporting role as a Vietnamese-speaking private in Oliver Stone's 1986 Vietnam War drama Platoon. He became a teen idol during the late 1980s, when he starred as an undercover police officer in a high school operation in the Fox television series 21 Jump Street, which premiered in 1987. 17 He accepted this role to work with actor Frederick Forrest, who inspired him. Despite his success, Depp felt that the series forced him into the role of product. 43. 1990s, diversification. Disillusioned by his experiences as a teen idol in 21 Jump Street, Depp began taking roles he found more interesting, rather than those he thought would succeed at the box office. 44 His first film release in 1990 was John Waters' Cry Baby, a musical comedy set in the 1950s. Although not a box office success upon its release 45 over the years it has gained cult classic status. 46 Also in 1990, Depp played the title character in Tim Burton's romantic fantasy film Edward Scissorhands opposite Diane Wiest and Winona Ryder. The film was a commercial and critical success with a domestic gross of $53 million. 47 In preparation for the role, Depp watched many Charlie Chaplin films to study how to create sympathy without dialogue. 48 Peter Travers of Rolling Stone praised Depp's performance, writing that he artfully expresses the fierce longing in Gentle Edward. It's a terrific performance. 49 While Rita Kempley of the Washington Post wrote that he brings the eloquence of the silent era to this part of few words, saying it all through bright black eyes and the tremulous care with which he holds his horror movie hands. 50 Depp earned his first Golden Globe nomination for the film. Owing to this role, a species of extinct arthropod with prominent claws was named after Depp as Cutnicella deppi. Chela is Latin for claws or scissors. 52 Depp at the 1992 Cannes Film Festival. Depp had no film releases in the next 2 years, except a brief cameo in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, 1991, the sixth installment in the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He appeared in 3 films in 1993. In the romantic comedy Benny and June, he played an eccentric and illiterate silent film fan who befriends a mentally ill woman and her brother. It became a sleeper hit. Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote that Depp may look nothing like Buster Keaton, but there are times when he genuinely seems to become the great stone face, bringing Keaton's mannerisms sweetly and magically to life. 53 Depp received a second Golden Globe nomination for the performance. His second film of 1993 was Lasse Hallström's What's Eating Gilbert Grape, a drama about a dysfunctional family co-starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Juliette Lewis. It did not perform well commercially, but received positive notices from critics. 54 Although most of the reviews focused on DiCaprio, who was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance, Todd McCarthy of Variety wrote that Depp manages to command center screen with a greatly affable, appealing characterization. 55 Depp's last 1993 release was a mere Costa Rica surrealist comedy drama Arizona Dream, which opened to positive reviews and won the Silver Bear at the Berlin Film Festival. 56-57 In 1994, Depp reunited with Burton, playing the title role in Ed Wood, a biographical film about one of history's most inept film directors. Depp later said that he was depressed about films and filmmaking at the time, but that within 10 minutes of hearing about the project, I was committed. 58 He found that the role gave him a chance to stretch out and have some fun, and that working with Martin Landau, who played Bela Lugosi, rejuvenated my love for acting. 58 Although it did not earn back its production costs, Ed Wood received a positive reception from critics, with Maslin writing that Depp had proved himself as an established, certified great actor and captured all the can-do optimism that kept Ed Wood going, thanks to an extremely funny ability to look at the silver lining of any cloud. 59 Depp was nominated for a third time for a Best Musical or Comedy Actor Golden Globe for his performance. 60-61 Depp with director Jim Jarmusch at the 1995 Cannes Film Festival. The next year, Depp starred in 3 films. He played opposite Marlon Brando in the box office hit Don Juan DeMarco, as a man who believes he is Don Juan, the world's greatest lover. He starred in Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man, a western shot entirely in black and white. It was not a commercial success and had mixed critical reviews. And in the financial and critical failure Nick of Time, Depp played an accountant who is told to kill a politician to save his kidnapped daughter. In 1997, Depp and Al Pacino starred in the crime drama Donnie Brasco, directed by Mike Newell. Depp played Joseph D. Pistone, an undercover FBI agent who assumes the name Donnie Brasco to infiltrate the mafia in New York City. To prepare, Depp spent time with Pistone, on whose memoirs the film was based. Donnie Brasco was a commercial and critical success, and is considered one of Depp's finest performances. 62-63. Also in 1997, Depp debuted as a director and screenwriter with The Brave. He starred in it as a poor Native American man who accepts a proposal from a wealthy man, played by Marlon Brando, to appear in a snuff film in exchange for money for his family. It premiered at the 1997 Cannes Film Festival to generally negative reviews. 64. Variety called it a turgid and unbelievable neo-western. 65 and Time Out wrote that besides the implausibilities, the direction has two fatal flaws. It's both tediously slow and hugely narcissistic as the camera focuses repeatedly on Depp's bandanaed head and rippling torso. 66. Due to the reviews, Depp did not release The Brave in the US. 67-68. Depp was a fan and friend of writer Hunter S. Thompson, and played his alter ego Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 1998, Terry Gilliam's film adaptation of Thompson's pseudo-biographical novel of the same name. It was a box office failure 71 and polarized critics. 72. Later that year, Depp made a brief cameo in Mika Kaurismäki's L.A. Without a Map, 1998. Citation needed. Depp appeared in 3 films in 1999. The first was the sci-fi thriller The Astronaut's Wife, co-starring Charlize Theron, which was not a commercial or critical success. The second, The Ninth Gate, starred Depp as a seller of old books who becomes entangled in a mystery. It was moderately more successful with audiences but received mixed reviews. The third was Burton's adaptation of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, where Depp played Ichabod Crane opposite Christina Ricci and Christopher Walken. For his performance, Depp took inspiration from Angela Lansbury, Roddy McDowall, and Basil Rathbone, saying he always thought of Ichabod as a very delicate, fragile person who was maybe a little too in touch with his feminine side, like a frightened little girl. 73-74. Sleepy Hollow was a commercial and critical success. 75. 2000s, worldwide recognition. Depp's first film release of the new millennium was British-French drama The Man Who Cried, 2000, directed by Sally Potter and starring him as Aroma Horseman opposite Christina Ricci, Cate Blanchett, and John Turturro. It was not a critical success. Depp also had a supporting role in Julian Schnabel's critically acclaimed Before Night Falls, 2000. His final film of 2000 was Hallström's critically and commercially successful Chocolate, in which he played a Roma man and the love interest of the main character, Juliette Binoche. Depp's next roles were both based on historical persons. In Blow, 2001, he starred as cocaine smuggler George Jung, who was part of the Medellin cartel in the 1980s. The film underperformed at the box office 76 and received mixed reviews. 77-78. In the comic book adaptation From Hell, 2001, Depp portrayed Inspector Frederick Abbeline, who investigated the Jack the Ripper murders in the 1880s London. The film also received mixed reviews 79 but was a moderate commercial success. 80. Depp in costume as Captain Jack Sparrow. He is pictured here on the set of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales in 2015. In 2003, Depp starred in the Walt Disney Pictures adventure film Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, which was a major box office success. 44. He earned widespread acclaim for his comic performance as pirate Captain Jack Sparrow, and received Academy Award, Golden Globe, and BAFTA nominations and won a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor as well as an MTV Movie Award. Depp has said that Sparrow is definitely a big part of me, 81, and that he modeled the character after the Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards, 82, and cartoon skunk Pepe Le Pew. 83 studio executives had at first been ambivalent about Depp's portrayal 84, but the character became popular with audiences. 44 In his other film release in 2003, Robert Rodriguez action film Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Depp played a corrupt CIA agent. A moderate box office success 85 It received average to good reviews, with Depp's performance in particular receiving praise. 86-87. Depp next starred as an author with writer's block in the thriller Secret Window, 2004, based on a short story by Stephen King. It was a moderate commercial success but received mixed reviews. 88-89 Released around the same time, the British-Australian independent film The Libertine, 2004, saw Depp portray the 17th century poet and rake, the Earl of Rochester. It had only limited release, and received mainly negative reviews. Depp's third film of 2004, Finding Neverland, was more positively received by the critics, and earned him his second Academy Award nomination as well as Golden Globe, BAFTA, and SAG nominations for his performance as Scottish author J.M. Barrie. Depp also made a brief cameo appearance in the French film Happily Ever After, 2004, and founded his own film production company, Infinitum Nihil, under Warner Brothers Pictures. 90. Depp continued his box office success with a starring role as Willy Wonka in Tim Burton's adaptation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 2005. It also had a positive critical reception 91-92 with Depp being nominated again for the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. 82-93 Chocolate Factory was followed by another Burton project, stop-motion animation Corpse Bride, 2005, in which Depp voiced the main character, Victor Van Dort. 94 Depp reprised the role of Jack Sparrow in the Pirates sequels Dead Man's Chest, 2006, and At World's End, 2007, both of which were major box office successes. 95 He also voiced the character in the video game Pirates of the Caribbean, The Legend of Jack Sparrow. 96 According to a survey taken by Fandango, Depp in the role of Jack Sparrow was the main reason for many cinemagoers to see a Pirates film. 97. In 2007, Depp collaborated with Burton for their sixth film together, this time playing murderous barber Sweeney Todd in the musical Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, 2007. Depp cited Peter Lorre's performance in Mad Love, 1935, in which Lorre played a creepy but sympathetic surgeon, as his main influence for the role. 98 Sweeney Todd was the first film in which Depp had been required to sing. Instead of hiring a qualified vocal coach, he prepared for the role by recording demos with his old bandmate Bruce Whitkin. The film was a commercial and critical success. Entertainment Weekly's Chris Nashawati stated that, Depp's soaring voice makes you wonder what other tricks he's been hiding. Watching Depp's barber wield his razors, it's hard not to be reminded of Edward Scissorhands frantically shaping hedges into animal topiaries 18 years ago, and all of the twisted beauty we would have missed out on had Burton and Depp never met. 99. Depp won the Golden Globe for Best Musical or Comedy Actor for the role, and was nominated for the third time for an Academy Award. Citation needed. Depp at the Paris premiere of Public Enemies in 2009. In 2009, Depp portrayed real-life gangster John Dillinger in Michael Mann's 1930s crime film Public Enemies. 100 It was commercially successful 101 and gained moderately positive reviews. 102-103 Roger Ebert stated in his review that, this Johnny Depp performance is something else. For once an actor playing a gangster does not seem to base his performance on movies he has seen. He starts cold. He plays Dillinger as a fact. 104. Depp's second film of 2009, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, reunited him with director Terry Gilliam. Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell each played the character initially portrayed by their friend Heath Ledger, who had died before the film was completed. All three actors gave their salaries to Ledger's daughter, Matilda. 105. 2010s, Career fluctuations. Depp began the 2010s with another collaboration with Tim Burton, Alice in Wonderland, 2010, in which he played the Mad Hatter opposite Helena Bonham Carter, Anne Hathaway, and Alan Rickman. Despite mixed reviews, it earned $1.025 billion in the box office, thus becoming the second highest grossing film of 2010, 106, and one of the highest grossing films of all time. 107. Depp's second film release of 2010 was the romantic thriller The Tourist, in which he starred opposite Angelina Jolie. It was commercially successful, although panned by critics. 108. Regardless, he received Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy Golden Globe nominations for both films. 109. Depp's first 2011 film release was the animated film Rango, in which he voiced the title character, a lizard. It was a major critical and commercial success. 110. 111. His second film of the year, the fourth installment in the Pirates series, On Stranger Tides, was again a box office hit, 95, becoming the third highest grossing film of 2011. 112. Later in 2011, Depp released the first two projects co-produced by his company, Infinitum Nihil. The first was a film adaptation of the novel The Rum Diary by Hunter S. Thompson and starred Depp. 113. It failed to bring back its production costs. 114. 115 and received mixed reviews. 116. 117. The company's second undertaking, Martin Scorsese's Hugo, 2011, garnered major critical acclaim and several awards nominations, but similarly did not perform well in the box office. In 2011, Depp also made a brief cameo in the Adam Sandler film Jack and Jill. Citation needed. By 2012, Depp was one of the world's biggest film stars, 118, 119, and was listed by the Guinness World Records as the world's highest paid actor, with earnings of $75 million. 120. That year, he and his 21 Jump Street co-stars Peter DeLucy and Holly Robinson reprised their roles in cameo appearances in the series' feature film adaptation. 121. Depp also starred in and co-produced his eighth film with Tim Burton, Dark Shadows, 2012, alongside Helena Bonham Carter, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Eva Green. 122. The film was based on a 1960s Gothic television soap opera of the same name, which had been one of his favorites as a child. 123. Depp at the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2013. After Infinitum Nihil's agreement with WB expired in 2011, Depp signed a multi-year first-look deal with Walt Disney Studios. 90. The first film made in the collaboration was The Lone Ranger, 2013, in which Depp starred as Tonto. Depp's casting as a Native American brought accusations of whitewashing, and the film was not well received by the public or the critics. 124. Causing Disney to take a $190 million loss. 125. 126. 127. 128. Following a brief cameo in the independent film Lucky Them, 2013, Depp starred as an AI studying scientist in the sci-fi thriller Transcendence, 2014, which was yet another commercial failure. 129. 130 and earned mainly negative reviews. 125. 131. 132. His other roles in 2014 were a minor supporting part as the wolf in the film adaptation of Into the Woods, and a more substantial appearance as eccentric French-Canadian ex-detective in Kevin Smith's horror comedy Tusk, in which he was credited by the character's name, Guy Lapointe. Citation needed. In 2015, Depp appeared in two films produced by Infinitum Nihil. The first was comedy thriller Mort Decay, in which he acted opposite Gwyneth Paltrow. The film was a critical and commercial failure. 125. 133. 134. 135. The second film, Black Mass, 2015, in which he played Boston crime boss Whitey Bulger, was better received. 136. 137 critics from The Hollywood Reporter and Variety called it one of Depp's best performances to date. 138. 139 and the role earned Depp his third nomination for the Best Actor SAG Award. 140. However, the film failed to bring back its production costs. 125. Depp also made a cameo appearance in the critically panned London Fields, starring his then-wife Amber Heard, which was to be released in 2015, but its general release was delayed by litigation until 2018. 141. 142 In addition to his work in films in 2015, French luxury fashion house Dior signed Depp as the face of their men's fragrance, Savage. 143 and he was inducted as a Disney legend. 144. Depp at the premiere of Alice Through the Looking Glass in 2016. Depp's first film release in 2016 was Yoga Hosers, a sequel to Tusk, 2014, in which Depp appeared with his daughter, Lily Rose Depp. Next, he played businessman and presidential candidate Donald Trump in a Funny or Die satire entitled Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie, released during the run-up to the U.S. presidential election. He earned praise for the role, with a headline from the AV Club declaring, "Who knew Donald Trump was the comeback role Johnny Depp needed?" 145. It was also announced that Depp had been cast in a new franchise role as Dr. Jack Griffin / the Invisible Man in Universal Studios' planned shared film universe entitled The Dark Universe, a rebooted version of their classic Universal Monsters franchise. 146. One of the severed zombie heads featured in The Walking Dead Season 6 episode Not Tomorrow Yet was based on Depp. Episode director Greg Nicotero said, "I think we had sculpted an emaciated version of a dummy head for something and we used Johnny Depp's head as a basis just for a clay sculpt." 147. Depp reprised the role of the Mad Hatter in Tim Burton's Alice Through the Looking Glass, 2016, the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. In contrast to the first film's success, the sequel lost Disney approximately $70 million. 148. 125 Depp had also been secretly cast to play Dark Wizard Gellert Grindelwald in a cameo appearance in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, 2016, the first installment of the Fantastic Beasts franchise. His name was not mentioned in the promotional materials and his cameo was only revealed at the end of the film. 149. 150. In 2017, Depp appeared alongside other actors and filmmakers in The Black Gandala, a short film made by a terminally ill teenager through the non-profit Make a Film Foundation. 151. 152. 153 He also reprised his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the fifth installment of the Pirates series, Dead Men Tell No Tales, 2017. In the US, it did not perform as well as previous installments. 154. 155 However, the film had a good box office return internationally, especially in China, Japan, and Russia. 156 Depp's last film release in 2017 was the Agatha Christie adaptation Murder on the Orient Express, in which he was part of an ensemble cast led by director-star Kenneth Branagh. Depp in costume as Gellert Grindelwald at San Diego Comic-Con in 2018. In 2018, Depp voiced the title character Sherlock Gnomes in the animated movie Romeo and Juliet, Sherlock Gnomes. Although moderately commercially successful, it was critically panned. 157. 158. 159 Depp then starred in two independent films, both produced by him and his company, Infinitum Nihil. The first was City of Lies, in which he starred as Russell Poole, an LAPD detective who attempts to solve the murders of rappers Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G. It was set for release in September 2018, but was pulled from the release schedule after a crew member sued Depp for assault. 160 The second film was the comedy drama Richard Says Goodbye, in which Depp played a professor with terminal cancer. It premiered at the Zurich Film Festival in October 2018. 161 Depp's last film release of 2018 was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, in which he reprised his role as Grindelwald. Depp's casting received criticism from fans of the series due to the domestic violence allegations against him. 163. Depp also experienced other career setbacks around this time, as Disney confirmed that they would not be casting him in new Pirates installments 164, and he was reported to no longer be attached to Universal's Dark Universe franchise. 165. Depp's next films was the independent drama Waiting for the Barbarians, 2019, which premiered at the 76th Venice International Film Festival and is based on a novel by J.M. Coetzee. Citation needed. 2020's Personal Struggles and Resurgence. In Minamata, 2020, Depp portrayed photographer W. Eugene Smith. The film premiered at the 2020 Berlin International Film Festival. 167. In November 2020, Depp resigned from his role as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts franchise at the request of its production company, Warner Brothers, after he lost his UK libel case against The Sun, which had accused him of being a domestic abuser. 168. 169. 170. He was replaced by Mads Mikkelsen. 171. In March 2021, City of Lies, which was originally scheduled for 2018, was released in theaters and streaming services. 172. 173. The same month, an online petition to bring Depp back to the Pirates franchise, begun 4 months earlier, reached its goal of 500,000 signatures. 174. His Pirates co-star Kevin McNally also expressed support for Depp returning to the role. 175. In July 2021, Andrew Lovitas, the director of Minamata, 2020, accused MGM of trying to bury the film due to Depp's involvement. 176. 177. 178. With Depp claiming he is being boycotted by the Hollywood industry and calling his changed reputation an absurdity of media mathematics. 179. Minamata was released in the UK and Ireland in August 2021. 180. And in North America in December 2021. 181. The film received positive reviews. 182. With multiple publications praising Depp's performance as his best in years. 183. 184. 185. 186. 187. Depp also continues as the face of Dior's men's fragrance, Savage. 188. 189. Depp received multiple honorary awards at numerous European film festivals, including at the Came-Rimage Festival in Poland. 190. The Karlovy Vary International Film Festival in the Czech Republic. 191. And the San Sebastián International Film Festival in Spain. 192. Where Depp was awarded the Donostia Award. 193. These awards were controversial, with various domestic violence charities criticizing the festivals. 194. 195. The organizers of the ceremonies released statements defending their decision to award Depp. 196. 197. 198. With the San Sebastian Film Festival stating that he has not been charged by any authority in any jurisdiction, nor convicted of any form of violence against women. 199. In September 2021, Depp described himself as a victim of cancel culture. 200. The same month, he launched In Point 2, a London-based sister company to his production company, Infinitum Nihil, and announced that In Point 2 and the Spanish production company A Contracorriente Films were starting a new development fund for TV and film projects. 201. Depp at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival. On February 15, 2022, Depp received the Serbian Gold Medal of Merit from President Aleksandar Vučić for outstanding merits in public and cultural activities, especially in the field of film art and the promotion of the Republic of Serbia in the world. 202. 203. Minamata and animated series Puffins were shot in the country. 204. On May 29, 2022, Depp, who was still awaiting a verdict in his highly publicized defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard, made a surprise appearance at a Jeff Beck gig in Sheffield, playing guitar alongside Beck to 3 classic songs from John Lennon, Marvin Gaye, and Jimi Hendrix. Depp joined Beck on his last concert tour in the UK and Europe during June and July, and in the United States in October and November, to promote their album 18. 205, 206, 207. In August 2022, he made a cameo appearance at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards. 208. Depp next starred as King Louis XV in French actor-director Maïwen's period film Jean du Barry, 2023. This was the first film for Depp where he acted in French. 209. The film premiered at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival as the opening film, where it was greeted with a 7-minute standing ovation and received a mixed reception from film critics. 210, 211, 212, 213. Many critics deemed it Depp's comeback role, something he did not agree with. 214. Modi, 3 Days on the Wing of Madness, 2024, was Depp's first directorial effort in over 25 years. The film is about 72 hours in the life of Italian artist Amedeo Modigliani, and Depp co-produced it through his European company In Point Two Film, alongside Al Pacino. 215. It stars Riccardo Scamarcio, Stephen Graham, Al Pacino, and Antonia Desplat, and it is based on a play by Dennis McIntyre. 215. Principal photography commenced in September 2023 in Budapest, Hungary, and was completed in Los Angeles and Turin in early 2024. 216, 217, 218. The film premiered at the 72nd San Sebastian International Film Festival on September 24, 2024, where it was received warmly by the audience with a lengthy standing ovation. 219, 220. In 2025, Depp spoke with Jerry Bruckheimer about a possible return to the Pirates of the Caribbean in the 6th film of the franchise, pending script development. 221. Other ventures. In 2004, Depp founded film production company Infinitum Nihil to develop projects where he will serve as actor or producer. 90. He serves as its CEO, while his sister, Christy Dombrowski, serves as president. 90. 222. The company's first 2 film releases were The Rum Diary, 2011, and Hugo, 2011. 223. A European sister company to Infinitum Nihil, entitled In Point Two, was launched in September 2021. In a press release, Depp stated, "From the student to the maestro, from the aspiring artists to the yet-knowns, to the well-established great masters across all forms of modern media, In Point Two will build a space where artists can be artists, where they will be free to create those unexpected moments, those happy accidents that contain the propensity to constitute great art and so bring their unique vision to life." 224. Depp co-owned the nightclub The Viper Room in Los Angeles from 1993 to 2003. 225. And he was also part owner of the restaurant Bar Man Ray in Paris for a short period of time. 226. Depp and Douglas Brinkley edited folk singer Woody Guthrie's novel House of Earth 227, which was published in 2013. 228. Music. Depp performing with the Hollywood Vampires at Wembley Arena in 2018. Prior to his acting career, Depp was a guitarist, and has later featured on songs by Oasis, Shane MacGowan, Iggy Pop, Vanessa Paradis, Aerosmith, Marilyn Manson, and the New Basement Tapes, among others. He also performed with Manson at the Revolver Golden Gods Awards in 2012. 229. Depp played guitar on the soundtrack of his films Chocolate and Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and has appeared in music videos for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Lemonheads, Avril Lavigne, and Paul McCartney. In the 1990s, he was also a member of P, a musical group featuring Butthole Surfers singer Gibby Haynes, Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea and Sex Pistols guitarist Steve Jones. Citation needed. In 2014, Depp joined Aerosmith on stage at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield. 230. In 2015, Depp formed the supergroup Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. The band also includes Bruce Witkin, his friend from his 1980s band, The Kids. Hollywood Vampires released their self-titled debut studio album in September 2015. It featured 11 classic rock covers, as well as 3 original songs, all co-written by Depp. 231. The band made their live debut at the Roxy in Los Angeles in September 2015. 232 and has since done 3 world tours in 2016, 233, 2018, 234, 235 and 2023. 236, 237. Their second studio album, Rise, was released in June 2019 and consists mostly of original material, including songs written by Depp. The album also features a cover version of David Bowie's Heroes, sung by Depp. 238. In 2020, Depp released a cover of John Lennon's Isolation with guitarist Jeff Beck, and stated that they would be releasing more music together in the future. 239. Beginning in May 2022, Depp joined Beck on stage for a number of concerts in the United Kingdom, where Beck announced they had recorded an album together. 240. Their joint record, titled 18, was released on July 15, 2022. Depp also accompanied Beck on his last European and American tours, which began in June and ended in November. 241. In May 2023, Depp performed at the Jeff Beck tribute concerts held at the Royal Albert Hall in London, sharing the stage with Eric Clapton, Rod Stewart, Ronnie Wood, and Kirk Hammett among others. 242. 243. On July 17, 2024, Depp was a special guest at one of the 3 Andrea Bocelli 30th anniversary concerts. Together, Depp and Bocelli performed the song En Arrangeways con tu amor in honor of Jeff Beck. Depp played the guitar, while Bocelli sang. Other guests included Will Smith, Ed Sheeran, Russell Crowe, Brian May, Jon Batiste, and Laura Pausini. 244. Art. In July 2022, artwork made by Depp sold out less than a day since it debuted in the art retailer Castle Fine Art in London's Covent Garden. The art house hosted his Friends and Heroes collection, which was described as paintings of people who have inspired him as a person. Among the art pieces, the names include actors Al Pacino and Elizabeth Taylor and musicians Bob Dylan and Keith Richards. Depp made for nearly $4 million and sold 780 prints through the art house's 37 galleries. Ahead of the sale, Depp expressed his desire to display his art publicly and stated, "I've always used art to express my feelings and to reflect on those who matter most to me, like my family, friends, and people I admire." He added, "My paintings surround my life, but I kept them to myself and limited myself. No one should ever limit themselves." 245. All 780 pieces sold within hours, with framed individual images going for £3,950 and the complete portfolio of 4 images selling for £14,950. This world-first release proved to be our fastest-selling collection to date, with all titles selling out in just hours, the gallery announced on Instagram. Speaking on behalf of fine art publishers, Washington Green Glenn Washington described Depp as a true creative, with an extraordinary eye for detail and nuance. 246. 247. A second installment in the Friends and Heroes collection, this time entitled Friends and Heroes 2, was released in March 2023. Prints of public figures Heath Ledger, Bob Marley, River Phoenix, and Hunter S. Thompson were made available for sale, as a 4-piece, and signed by Depp, or sold individually. 248. In July 2023, Depp unveiled an auto-portrait, entitled 5, which he had painted in 2021. The meaning of the number 5 is, according to Depp, linked the fact that he was about to enter the 5th year of a dark phase in his life. Depp spoke about the difficulty in creating a self-portrait, stating, "It's not the most comfortable thing doing a self-portrait. Although, in a weird way, almost everything you do is a self-portrait in one way or another." The collections were once again hosted by Castle Fine Art Gallery. 249. Depp opened his first art exhibition A Bunch of Stuff on October 4, 2024, at the Starrett, Lehigh Building in New York City. The exhibition features artworks created by Depp over many decades, with some dating back to his 20s. On September 30, 2024, a special preview event took place, with Depp and some of his friends and family members present, including Jim Jarmusch, Jerry Bruckheimer, and Justin Bartha. 250-251. Philanthropy. Depp has a history of supporting various charitable causes. In 2006, Depp received the Courage to Care Award from Children's Hospital Los Angeles for his advocacy for children and children's charities. 252. In 2016, he received the Rhonda's Kiss Healing and Hope Award at the Rhonda's Kiss annual benefit concert. The award recognized his work with cancer patients and his contributions to research. 253. Depp donated nearly $800,000 to several charities through the sale of his Never Fear Truth NFTs. The donations were made to children's hospitals and other organizations, including the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, Perth Children's Hospital Foundation, Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity, and the Footprint Coalition. 254. He also donated the $1 million settlement he received from Amber Heard to 5 charities: Make a Film Foundation, The Painted Turtle, Tishiero Society, Red Feather, and Amazonia Fund Alliance. 255. Depp and Rod Stewart collaborated on a private benefit concert to raise money for Celia Hammond's Animal Trust. The event, which took place in London, aimed to support the charity's efforts in rescuing and caring for cats and kittens. The concert successfully raised over $300,000. 256-257. Depp donated an original, signed piece of artwork to the Bright Foundation, a UK-based children's arts education charity, for auction. The auction, managed by Carrie Taylor Auctions, included the artwork and 3 of Depp's costumes. The proceeds will help the arts education charity to provide access to creative activities for children and young people facing disadvantage in the UK. 258. Depp has visited hospitals' children's wards as Jack Sparrow around the world, from Vancouver, Paris, London, Australia, and US. His most recent visits were in Spain. 259-260. He also recorded a video message as the character to a terminally ill boy. 261. Depp made a voice message as himself for a girl who had been in a coma for 5 months. Parents of the girl asked him to tape a message because he was the favorite actor of their daughter and they hoped playing the message would help wake her up. 262. Public image and reception. In the 1990s, Depp was seen as a new type of male film star that rejected the norms of that role. 263-264. After becoming a teen idol in 21 Jump Street. 265. He publicly protested against the image, and with his subsequent film and public relations choices began to cultivate a new public persona. 263-264. The Sydney Morning Herald characterized Depp in the 1990s as the bad boy of Hollywood. 266. Depp's chain smoking. 266. Recreational drug use and drinking habits were generally documented during this time. 267. According to The Guardian journalist Hadley Freeman in 2020. Along with Phoenix and Keanu Reeves, he was part of a holy trinity of grunge heartthrobs. They were the opposite of the Beverly Hills 90,210 boys, or Brad Pitt and DiCaprio, because they seemed embarrassed by their looks, even resentful of them. This uninterest in their own prettiness made them seem edgy, even while their prettiness softened that edge. They signified not just a different kind of celebrity, but a different kind of masculinity, desirable but gentle, manly but girlish. Depp in particular was the cool pinup it was safe to like, and the safe pinup it was cool to like. We fans understood that there was more to Depp, Phoenix, and Reeves than handsomeness. They were artistic, they had bands, and they thought really big thoughts, which they would ramble on about confusingly in interviews. If we dated them, we understood that our role would be to understand their souls. 263. Similarly, film scholar Ann Everett has described Depp's 1990s films and public persona as anti-macho and gender-bending, going against the conventions of a Hollywood leading man. 264. After 21 Jump Street, Depp chose to work in independent films, often taking on quirky roles that sometimes even completely obscured his looks, such as Edward Scissorhands. 263. 264. Critics often described Depp's characters as iconic loners 44 or gentle outsiders. 264. According to Depp, his one-time agent, Tracy Jacobs of United Talent Agency, UTA, had to take a lot of heat over the years for his role choices. Depp characterized higher UPS at UTA as thinking, "Jesus Christ. When does he do a movie where he kisses the girl? When does he get to pull a gun out and shoot somebody? When does he get to be a man for a change? When is he finally going to do a blockbuster?" 268. According to Everett, his rule-breaking roles matched with the much-publicized rebelliousness, unconventionality, and volatility ascribed to Depp's own personal life throughout the decade. From reports of his repeated confrontations with the police, trashing of a hotel room, chain smoking, drinking, and drug use, to his multiple engagements to such glamorous women as supermodel Kate Moss and Hollywood starlet Winona Ryder and others, we clearly see a perfect fit between his nonconformist star image and his repertoire of outsider characters. 264. Indian actor Dino Moria hailed Depp as a creative muse, crediting the iconic actor's fearless character portrayals as a guiding influence on his own artistic journey. 269. 270. He also stated that Depp's fearless commitment to complex characters encouraged him to explore bolder, more challenging roles in his own career. 271. 272. Depp with producer Jerry Bruckheimer, center, and actor Tom Cruise, right, in 2013. After a decade of appearing mainly in independent films with varying commercial success, Depp became one of the biggest box office draws in the 2000s with his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Walt Disney Studios' Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. 273. The 5 films in the series have earned $4.5 billion as of 2021. In addition to the Pirates franchise, Depp also made 4 further films with Tim Burton that were major successes, with 1, Alice in Wonderland, 2010, becoming the biggest commercial hit of Depp's career and one of the highest-grossing films in history, as of 2021. 274. In 2012, Depp was one of the world's biggest film stars, 119, and was listed by the Guinness World Records as the world's highest-paid actor, with earnings of $75 million in a year. 120. According to film scholar Murray Pomerantz, Depp's collaboration with Disney can be seen to purport and herald a new era for Johnny Depp, one in which he is, finally, as though long promised and long expected, the proud proprietor of a much accepted career, not only a star but a middle-class hero. 273. In 2003, the same year as the first film in the Pirates series was released, Depp was named World's Sexiest Man by People. He would receive the title again in 2009. 273. During the decade and into the 2010s, Depp was one of the biggest and most popular film stars in the world, 119, and was named by public vote as favorite male movie star at the People's Choice Awards every year for 2005 through 2012. In 2012, Depp became the highest paid actor in the American film industry, earning as high as $75 million per film, 120, and as of 2020, is the 10th highest grossing actor worldwide, with his films having grossed over $3.7 billion at the United States box office and over $10 billion worldwide. 275 Although a mainstream favorite with the audiences, critics' views on Depp changed in the 2000s, becoming more negative as he was seen to conform more to the Hollywood ideal. 273 Regardless, Depp continued to eschew more traditional leading man roles until towards the end of the 2000s, when he starred as John Dillinger in Public Enemies, 2009. 273. In the 2010s, Depp's films were less successful, with many big-budget studio films such as Dark Shadows, 2012, The Lone Ranger, 2013, and Alice Through the Looking Glass, 2016, underperforming at the box office. 125 123 128 129 Depp also received negative publicity due to allegations of domestic violence, substance abuse, poor on-set behavior and the loss of his $650 million fortune. 276 277 278 279 263 After losing a highly publicized libel trial against the publishers of The Sun, Depp was asked to resign from Warner Bros.' Fantastic Beasts franchise. 168 Many publications alleged that Depp would struggle to find further work in major studio productions in the future. 280 263 281 Personal life. Depp owns a property in West Hollywood and currently lives in London. By February 2023, he had not yet bought a property there, instead choosing to either stay at hotels or at friends' houses. 282 Relationships. Depp married Lori Ann Allison on December 24, 1983, in Miami-Dade County, Florida. 283 284 She was the sister of his rock band's bassist. 285 The couple moved to Los Angeles County, California to pursue careers in music. Depp found some success with his group The Kids, opening for the Ramones and Iggy Pop, but Allison's career as a record producer was halted after she became deaf in one ear, prompting her to pursue a career as a makeup artist for film and television. 285 Through her connections, Allison was able to introduce Depp to Nicolas Cage. Cage was impressed by Depp and arranged for him to audition for A Nightmare on Elm Street, which became his first film credit. 286 After 2 years of marriage, their divorce finalized on March 7, 1986. 287 Depp and Allison remained friendly over the years, with her still using Depp as her professional surname and voicing sympathy for him during his defamation trial against his second wife Amber Heard. 288 In the late 1980s, he was engaged to actresses Jennifer Grey and Sherilyn Fenn. 263 In 1990, he proposed to his Edward Scissorhands co-star Winona Ryder, whom he had begun dating the year prior. 289 290 They ended their relationship in 1993. 289 Depp later had the Winona Forever tattoo on his right arm changed to Wino Forever. 263 Between 1994 and 1998, he was in a relationship with English model Kate Moss. 291 Following his breakup with Moss, Depp began a relationship with French actress and singer Vanessa Paradis, whom he met while filming The Ninth Gate in France in 1998. They have 2 children, daughter Lily Rose Melody Depp, born 1999, and a son, Jack, born 2002. 292 Depp stated that having children has given him a real foundation, a real strong place to stand in life, in work, in everything. You cannot plan the kind of deep love that results in children. Fatherhood was not a conscious decision. It was part of the wonderful ride I was on. It was destiny. All the math finally worked. 81. In June 2012, Depp and Paradis announced their separation. 293. Following the end of his relationship with Vanessa Paradis, Depp began dating actress Amber Heard, with whom he had co-starred in The Rum Diary, 2011. 294 Depp and Heard were married in a civil ceremony on February 3, 2015. 295, 296, 297 Heard filed for divorce on May 23, 2016, and obtained a temporary restraining order against Depp, alleging in her court declaration that he had been verbally and physically abusive throughout their relationship, usually while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. 298, 299, 300, 279 Depp denied these claims and alleged that she was attempting to secure a premature financial resolution. 301, 298, 302 A settlement was reached in August 2016. 303 and the divorce was finalized in January 2017. 304 Heard dismissed the restraining order, and they issued a joint statement saying that their relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm. 303 Depp paid Heard a divorce settlement of $7 million, which she pledged to donate. 305 to the ACLU, 306 and the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, CHLA. 307, 308. Legal issues and allegations. Heard-related litigations. Depp v. News Group Newspapers Ltd. Main article, Depp v. News Group Newspapers Ltd. In 2018, 309 Depp brought a